Hey, hi, hello, and welcome, welcome, welcome to Whispers with Anna. ASMR. How are you? How are you doing today, tonight, or whatever time it may be for you? I hope that you're doing well. In today's video, we're going to be talking about my first experience with ASMR. And it was much, much younger than the age of YouTube. My first experience was because of a playground game. A little game called Concentration. Maybe you've heard of it before. So tonight, we're going to talk about that. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Hello, lovelies. How are you doing? I hope that you're doing well. So, tonight, I want to talk about a little game called Concentration. Concentration. This is a game that I first learned as an early school child, maybe in first or second grade, which is around 7 to 9 years old in the American school system. This game called Concentration was my first experience that I can remember with ASMR, which gives you the tingles. When is the last time you remember getting the tingles? What is the first time you remember getting the tingles? So, I thought I would tell you about this game. Now, the game is very simple. It takes at least 2 people to play, although usually there was the leader, the receiver of the game, and other kids standing around watching because it was fun, and that's what you do when you play in the schoolyard. But the game goes a little bit like this. There is someone, which will be me tonight, who is the giver of the game, and there is the receiver. And the giver goes up to the receiver and says, "Let's play Concentration. Are you ready?" Then they would turn the receiver around so that their back was facing the giver, and they would say, "Crack an egg on your head, let the yolk run down. Crack an egg on your head, let the yolk run down. Stab a knife in your back, let the blood drip down." I know that one is a little violent, but that's schoolyards for you. Stab a knife in your back, let the blood drip down. X marks the spot. 4 big boulders, little tiny rocks. Up crawl spiders, they bite you, they bite you. Up crawl spiders, they bite you, they bite you. And here they would be running their fingers up your back and then squeezing your shoulders. Next, they would say, tight squeeze, cool breeze. And they would blow on your neck. And then they say, now you have the heebie-jeebies. So all together, it's a little bit like, let's play concentration. Crack an egg on your head, let the yolk run down. Crack an egg on your head, let the yolk run down. Stab a knife in your back, let the blood drip down. Stab a knife in your back, let the blood drip down. X marks the spot. 4 big boulders, little tiny rocks. Up crawl spiders, they bite you, they bite you. Up crawl spiders, they bite you, they bite you. Tight squeeze, cool breeze. Now you have the heebie-jeebies. And this is usually when I would get the tingles. There was another alternate ending to the game though, and this one I didn't like as much. But at the end, and this was always a surprise, the giver of the heebie-jeebies would say to the receiver, okay, so now you're standing on top of a tall building right at the ledge. And then they would push you. And when you fell, you were supposed to see a color, a different color. And when you opened your eyes, because of course your eyes were closed for this game to get the maximum sensory tingles, the giver of the heebie-jeebies would ask you what color you saw. And each color meant a different thing, supposedly. I definitely remember seeing a kind of pinkish purple at first, and then once I kind of knew what was happening with the game, I just saw black, like the back of my eyelids. And that answer was far less fun for people. So, that is the game, concentration, at least how I learned it. I'm curious to know if you have heard of this game before, if you have played it, or if you have your own variation, and I would love to hear those variations down in the comments. I think schoolyard traditions like that are so fun because they're passed down from older kid to younger kid to younger kid. And somehow you can be bound and connected to people who are 10, 15, sometimes even 20 years older than you by a shared game that you learned in the same schoolyard. Or, in the case of other aspects of schoolyard culture, sometimes symbols just kind of appear across schoolyards. I don't know if you remember the fancy S that people used to draw. If you were a child of the 90s to early 2000s, that was all over the place. And I do know from working at a daycare when I was in college that kids still participated in that S design. And I think that's really interesting because when I went to college and talked to folks from out of state, I went to college out of state, they also were familiar with the S. And this was before young kids often had access to the internet. So it was just something that spread like wildfire through the schools. And I think that's really amazing. So if you have any schoolyard traditions that you recall with fondness, let me know in the comments. I would love to read them. Well, thank you for taking this time with me tonight, for joining me and letting me reminisce and walk down memory lane with this game. I hope that our time together was relaxing for you. I certainly know that I enjoyed it. Until next time, love. Until next time, friend. I will be right here. Okay. I'll see you soon.